All right, good to see everybody. Just had a good walkthrough. Guys are into it, so back to a normal Wednesday schedule. Given our couple-week ACT stuff, just important to get some full-speed reps, and so excited to go out there and try to get better today.
Do you expect Julian Love and Eric Saubert to be ready next week when they're eligible?
I'd like to be. It's a process, though. I know both guys are doing the best they can to hit the ground running. It's a little tricky when you're coming off of a little bit of break there, so there's some variables at work that we need to be able to kind of hit those landmarks you're going. So as much as you want them to be back as soon as possible, you also need to be responsible on making sure that they're 100% so they can be ready to go. But right now, I think shoot for the majority of the guys that are on IR, I think we're in a good spot where we have a chance for them to come back sooner than later once they're activated.
Does Riley Mills still have a chance to come back this year?
He does. I think we're getting within a couple weeks now of him starting to practice. So now he's not one of those guys that would be activated and then be ready to go. He's going to need some football work, but I think we're getting closer.
When you look at the Titans, what, if anything, changes as you evaluate their season and their tape, having made the coaching change and just a lot of things in flux?
Our process is going to stay the same. And one of the things we learned last week is every game is the same. It's all 11 on 11, and it's about how well we play our style of ball, and we have to focus right now on getting as good as we can every day and keep getting better. And then when we play games on Sunday, we can go play the best football that we can play. Defensively, it does throw a little bit of a wrench in the works on who's the play caller and all that kind of stuff. You have to you got to watch all the plays, but how you attribute things to certain things, and anytime there's a change of play caller, it does make it there's a little bit of a wrinkle in there.
You guys are going back to Nashville. Obviously, you were there last summer. You've referenced that trip a few times. How did spending that time there as a young new team kind of help you guys get to where you are now?
Man, now it feels like forever ago. But that was a great trip. I think that was one of the things that, getting feedback from the guys and a lot of the other people in our organization said that was, really critical for our, team coming together last year, and provided a little bit of a blueprint for us on what we needed to be able to do to become tough and connected like we wanted to this offseason. From my perspective, too, it's, the football is incredibly important. We're going to maximize the time allotted to the best of our ability so we can get enough, we like practicing, we like getting a lot of reps. All those things are important, but there is a time and a place to, where you don't necessarily have to be on the practice field to make your team better. So, but it was a great experience. Guys had a good time, and it was great for us. Be good to be back.
Do you want that to be an every year thing?
I'd like to be, yeah. I mean, we tried to. The thought this year was kind of every phase of the year at least do one thing. So now you're expanding that to like OTAs and phase 2 and training camp, that sort of thing. Yeah.
One thing meaning some sort of team bonding.
Yeah, just get out of the building, get the guys together. I don't know, kind of takes different shapes and forms, but that's the goal. Yeah.
Specifically with just when you Cam Ward, kind of your thoughts on him and just kind of when you watched him on film.
Incredible arm. You can see why he's the #1 pick. Probably has more control over the offense than you would initially anticipate going into the week. So, incredible arm talent, and makes a ton of throws from funky flat like platforms and stuff. So, you got to play the whole play through it. And if you start making things up and not handling your assignments through the echo of the whistle, he can definitely make you pay.
What is it about Jeffrey Simmons that makes him the player that he is? You saw him in the practices last year too, kind of
right.
seemed a little bit closer in that way. But what kind of stands out?
Well, the practices is funny. I mean, that's a long time ago, and we may or may not have watched some of that practice tape over the last couple of days, and it was some bad football on our part. So we've come a long way too. We're laughing on the defensive staff like, holy crap. glad that only exists in our building and their building and nowhere else. But Jeffrey's a great player. He's you don't see a lot of like A-gap players that can play inside and out. He can rush outside too, play all 3 downs. And we have some guys that are like that too. Murph, Leo, Jay Reed. But he's one of those. He's one of the best, and he plays hard and plays physical, and they do a good job of moving around and matching him up. So he's a guy that we're gonna have to account for.
What you just said about the film only being in this house and their house, is that not one of the most attractive things about doing joint practices?
It is, yeah, it is, yeah, it is. You know, there's some trust. There's a trust factor there too, where you're not gonna let it out. But I'm thinking of some other opportunities that we had in my career of going against teams that was critical on understanding like how you attack rules, and you get used to kind of building your rules around what you're seeing every day from your offense, and it's good to see different operations to test those rules, if that makes sense.
In your experience in Baltimore, when you did them, did anyone ever break that trust on the film then?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Is that taboo in the NFL? It's an unwritten rule that no one will ever do that? Or is that
I hope so. I mean, I hope that's the case. Yeah, I hope that's the case.
On Monday, you talked about how Ken has earned more opportunities. I imagine that's not just the in-game results, like, and practice factors into that. What are you seeing from him in practice?
Yeah, we've gotten this question a few times, but consistency, like the answers that I've given you a few weeks ago, that stayed true, and great attitude and executing at a high level, all those things. All our backs are, and then I think the productivity on the field too in games is really what's driving that decision right now. It's not really anything that he's doing behind the scenes.
There were a couple of 3rd and 3s later in the game against the Rams. One of them was a turnover. The other one was almost a strip sack. Both were dropbacks. You guys converted every 3rd down 3 that you've run this year, and you've been good on 4th and short. Is there a chance to lean more into your physical identity, maybe run, reduce risk a little bit more in those situations?
Yeah, I mean, we should just tell Denard right now that every 3rd down in possible 2-down territory, we're going to run it, and we'll let them load the box, and we'll get stuffed, and I'll blame you. There's definitely strategy to it on how you want to handle it. If you are in 4-down territory and teams want to play the run, like, it's not a bad strategy to throw it against premier look too. So you got to be able to do both. But that's definitely part of our calculus for sure.
What do you think of the way Ernest jumped back in the lineup and played coming off the week away?
I don't know if you guys ever had a knee injury, but it's not easy to play a high-level NFL football game a couple weeks after that. So it shows you how tough he is and his resolve and how much this team means to him. So he did a great job.
Do you expect Gray's able to practice today or this week?
Yeah, so Gray's not going to practice today. T-Knight will not, and Torrey won't. Some other guys limited that were taken care of with reps, but those are the guys that won't practice.
Does Torrey have a chance to make it back for Sunday or what? Or no?
We'll see. Yeah, it's really just a matter of just calming down. So it could happen tonight. It could happen not tonight.
You touched on this a little Monday, but the way you used all 3 corners on Sunday, how going forward, is that going to be kind of a scheme and matchup thing each week, or do you want to try to always
well, I think the way we explain it to the guys is like it's a week-to-week evaluation of how they're playing and how the team's playing. It's not just them. There's some other positions at play. It's how well Nick's playing, our inside backer position, how we match up there. Safety position, how we match up there, especially with Julian possibly coming back soon. So just keep competing your tail off, keep getting after it, and we'll build a plan for you. But all 3 guys played I thought at a high level in the game and deserved to play a lot. It's just, we play 11 on 11. There's only so many corner spots out there,
You guys had a lot of heavy protections, and the Rams were able to get some pressure on those. I'm just kind of curious what you saw looking back on the offensive line play from that game.
Well, I think as an offense, we need to finish plays better. So we call it eat. We we have an identity about how we want to play and how we want to finish plays, and we want to do it going forward. And we talk about finishing in a dominant position, and there's a lot of good stuff on there where we can say, hey, this is the way it looks, but we need to finish plays better as a whole, really all three levels of our offense.
We've heard you and other teammates talk about Sam, just how like steady and calm and cool he is. Have you seen any change in him this week, or I guess how's he responded to Sunday?
Well, it was good. I just called the sack in 2 minutes, and he wasn't very happy about that. So in a walkthrough, so I'd say nothing's really changed.
We've seen earlier this season when there was a loss, this team bounces back. When 3 in a row, then you lost. You won 4 in a row. What is it about this team that they are uniquely built to bounce back from those situations and hit that high level of football again?
Yeah, I think when you start walking around talking about process over result, and then all of a sudden some result happens that you don't like, and then you start talking about the result, then what are we doing? It's kind of like coaching the result. Like, hey, tackle better. Well, okay, well, how are we going to get that done? We got to run the ball better. Well, you can't just tell Clint to call better plays that are going to work. It's like you got to go back through the whole process of what goes behind all those things. And so if we're going to back up what we've been saying, we're just going to dial in our process, and those things can change. Like we changed a little bit how we're going to practice this week because we feel like what the team needs to take the next step. That's going to be our approach. But the mentality, all those principles that we talk about, that'll stay the same. And our goal is to continue to get better. We realize there's a great opportunity to get better. You leave the game saying, man, like we can get better, and we need to do it in a hurry. There needs to be a sense of urgency now because we got to start playing our best football on the second, wherever in the season now, or second half of the year going to the last quarter of the season.
Mike, in your ask for your offense to finish, what is lacking? Is it a mindset? Is it physicality?
No, I mean we're not saying like we're missing the target. We're just saying let's just do it better. Guys are playing extremely hard, but we need to be aware of it as well. It's something that we need to attack every day in practice, and in walkthrough we got to do it. Mentality's there. We just got to keep showing it, keep hammering away, and understand that there's room for growth.
How do you think Olu handled the whole process and the center of the line this week?
Yeah, seamlessly. I mean, he's same guy. He's ready to go, prepared, executed at a high level. I thought snaps were clean. I mean, made the right calls. It's great to have him ready to go. It shows you the way he's been preparing and the way he practiced throughout the offseason was worthy of playing time. Not like corner where you can just rotate centers. You got to at some point you got to make a decision and roll with it. So.
And then what about Christian? I mean, he was put in a pretty tough spot there to come in on the 1 yard line first snaps of the season. Just
yeah,
the way
he hadn't played. He hadn't played football in a minute, really, or live football for that matter. And so we'll see what Gray's situation is, but you got to go, man. Like we've seen in our football team, if somebody can't go for a certain amount of time, whether it's practice or games, the standard stays the same. We expect you to go in and go rip it for us. And he did that. Like he didn't bat an eye, and there's things he's going to learn from the game, and we're going to need him to play at a high level if he needs to play this week.
He would start if Gray can't play.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Hankins, we haven't asked you about him in a while. Is there a chance he plays this season?
Yeah, Hank won't be back this year. No.
Did he have surgery on his back?
I'll probably just leave it private right now. What's going on with his health? But yeah, he won't be with us this year.
Is that a career-ending type of deal?
I hope not. I mean, his back's tricky. If it's not working, it's not a fun situation to be in. So we wish him the best.
What happened on the tush push situation with AJ?
Wasn't a very good football play. Just all around, not very good football.
When you look back at your red zone offense, on the tape, what would you see?
We knew going into the game we needed to be able to convert in the red zone. Great red zone teams run the ball in the red zone, and I felt like we put ourselves in some tough situations to throw it. So we got to be able to move it down there and finish drives.
Anything else? Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you.